All right. Once again, the fight is gone to an entirely different level with the Joseph Parker versus Dubois. Now you have Shakur Stevens, and this last day has been absolutely crazy in the sport of boxing. And me and my co-host Otis, what's up, champ? What's good?
What up? How y'all doing, man?
Oh man, it is crazy with this Dubois fight. I don't know where to begin. Just a couple of hours ago, we talked in. Between now and then, Dubois has pulled out of the fight. And lo and behold, there's absolutely nothing that can be spoken to today except when you're at high level boxing on a card of this magnitude. It's only happened a few times in history where the card has been stacked from top to top, like Bernard Hopkins said, because there is no bottom. But what happens is sometimes people come into the card and you don't even know that person's name, and then they don't fight. And you know better than anybody, Otis, that there is only one thing when a fight is going to happen, that's for sure. And the fight ain't gonna happen until they walking into the ring.
Amen.
Facts. And so, with that being said, Dubois has to pull out of the fight, and they had to replace him with Martin Bacoli. And Martin Bacoli is a world beater. I mean, yes, and you know the last knockout that he had was what's our kid's name? Jared Anderson. And a tremendous knockout it was against a masterful defensive fighter who is on the record of saying, I just want to box for as long as I want to box and then get the bag. And so I'm sure he's rethinking his commitment to boxing. So what did you think when you got the message that Dubois was out of the fight?
Well, I thought of a number of things. First of all, like a lot of people don't really understand, his situation was much different than the other situation that we were talking about.
Yes.
When you travel across, I wanted to make sure I illustrated this. When you travel across the world or across regions and everything, the people have to understand these guys, they're making a lot of money on this card, but they don't have that Mayweather money. They don't have private jets or things like that. They're flying economy class, right? So when you're flying economy class and you're flying into different cultures and things of that nature, like for instance, there was times where I was flying to like Australia or Europe or whatever, and I'd be sitting next to a guy that his teeth was so. I remember sitting next to a guy. His teeth were so rotten, like black and rotten.
Yeah.
That the odor from his teeth was coming like this. That I just put my jacket over my head and leaned against the window for 8 hours.
Wow.
That's what it was, right? And then I remember going another time to Australia, and my trainer at the time, Nasser Navaroni, he couldn't take it anymore, and he just said, "For God's sakes, whoever you are, can you go to the bathroom and wash yourself up?" Because people are different. Like they're not American, they're not Western culture. They don't wear deodorant and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
but also now we're in the COVID era, right? Or
facts.
And this time of year, the COVID, the flu, all this stuff is going around, and these are airborne germ infested situations.
Yeah.
You're in the cockpit and everything. So yeah, I can see how Du Bois
could get sick.
Whatever. That's just part of that's the nature of the beast when you're traveling across regions like that. So we can't really count on him about that.
No, it's definitely not his fault. But I did know when I saw them at the presser the day before, he was really detached. So I could see it then, and I know how bad he wants to fight. He wants to fight everybody, and he had to really be bad off. I know they were doing a workout late, Otis, and I saw them working, and we noticed that there was no one in the gym. And I know it's the last week you're just focusing on, strategy and muscle memory, little extra work. But I did notice that it was very solemn and it was very empty. No one was there. So I was just wondering, wow, this is, even though I know when you're doing extra things, you kind of want to be off on your own, but I did just ah that was the fight that I wanted to see, even more so than Beterbiev versus Bivol. Not to say that Bivol Beterbiev wasn't going to be really a great fight, but I seen it and I know what, whenever you're fighting your best fight, this isn't Sugar Ray Leonard versus Thomas Hearns 1 and 2. Okay. Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns were over the hill, like clearly over the hill. They were just doing this. It was just like, okay, because we got to do it. It ain't like they fought and then they fought again. Like these dudes just had a fight of the year kind of fight and then a fighting again. That's different. What I saw in that fight was a very good Bivol, as good as Bivol boxes. The same kind of performance I seen him put on with everybody else that was good enough. And it wasn't good enough. And I said, saw Beterbiev do what he does. He's Beterbiev. That's how he fights. He comes steamrolling like Marvin Hagler, good boxing skill set, pretty good defensively based, because his offense is his defense. High volume output, heavy puncher. And when you're fighting that, when you fight that guy, that's what the fight's going to look like, because you're not going to stop him from doing that.
He's going to do what he's doing.
Yeah, and the best he could do was the best that he could do. And he showed you the best that he could do against that style of fighter. You can come in and try a trick or so, but the bottom line is it's going to be the exact same fight unless he gets clipped this time. Because lo and behold, what I was speaking to earlier is that the damage to his hands from blocking those shots from Beterbiev, literally his hands was swollen twice the size. And one of the coaches said, I'd never seen anything like that before in my entire life of coaching, that the guy's hands were just totally bludgeoned because he was blocking those punches. And see, there's a reason why Bivol only did what he did. And it was a valiant effort. And some people had Bivol winning because they weren't looking at everything that Beterbiev was doing, because they were so busy watching Bivol. But I was watching Bivol not do a lot of things, right? And Bivol knew he didn't do a lot of things. So he admittedly know that he did not win the fight. Therefore, what I saw is what I'm going to see. Like I said, a round or two might switch around, but high level boxing, that's just high level boxing. And you're going to see it again. And it's going to look very similar, because they're not coming in there as Bernard Hopkins and Floyd Mayweather. These guys aren't defensive masters. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to see another fight like that. They're going to bring each other. They're going to get into the ring. Bivol knows how to fight back and front. Beterbiev knows how to fight off his back and front. So they're not lackluster in a skill set area. So what you saw is what you're going to see. He's going to try some things. Beterbiev is going to adjust. Beterbiev is going to try some things. Bivol's going to adjust. That's what they did before. And the bottom line is, what you see is what you're going to see. You saw it already. That's all you're going to see again. So I was more or less looking for the Parker fight. What do you think? What was the fight that you wanted to see most?
Different, as we talked earlier, I advise all fighters and athletes, if you have a companion or a significant other, wait until you are well into your career, or maybe at the end of your career, or maybe after your career, before you get married, because things happen in the athlete's career, where with women or whatever, it might be infidelity, it might be the thought of infidelity, or just a wild hair up a woman's butt, whatever, destroy empires. So that's what a woman can give you before a fight is like no other. and I really believe that played a factor. I know that Bev is going to come do what he does, and we all know that. I'm sure that Bivol knew that too. But with him being, he would have to handicap Bev to win. The things that he can do that I saw is, he could handicap 3 rounds just with ring generalship, because one thing is that when you know that someone is a creature of habit, like we just said, we know what Bev is going to do. He's going to come do what he does, right? If you're a creature of habit, then I know where you're going to be at when you're going to be there. So now that allows me to add the science and do things of different nature, like take your legs off and under you by attacking that lead hip, by spinning you or trying to move you backwards in the clinch and everything. So I think that it'll be a little bit of more of a chess match for Bivol. I think he's a very cerebral fighter and everything, and he's going to give his best. But at the end of the day, absolute power is absolute power. And this guy, Bev, man, if you've ever seen his workout on YouTube, like this guy is like Wolverine with gloves. Like we said,
you train with him. You train against him, right?
Yeah.
So firsthand his power is his skill set, and everything you're saying is Bible. That's in a perfect world in theory. Like I can say in theory he can just adjust the ring, but I think Beterbiev is really used to people trying to get away, and nobody's been successful.
It's his will. His will is so where
but your IQ has to match your will. Like look, Joe Frazier,
somebody look stupid and stop their game plan.
Yeah,
he won't do that. He just refuses. You like, for instance, Marcus Brown was whipping for like 5 rounds, just boxing his ears off, and he just refused to stop trying to enforce his will until he made him break down. Like this guy is man.
Yeah, he's a master. And I think Bivol is like I said, an Olympian in a ring in a professional setting. But we have a question. My man Tempo De Leon, special shouts out to you. This is an exclusive. There's a lot of exclusive news breaking, and our young man Mike 89 said, "Who do you think won the first fight?" In my opinion, and we just had finished with that discussion, but I thought, without a doubt, there better be a one clearly in my eyes, aggressive, consistent, persistence. But I can see why a person would say that Bivol won the fight as well, because he did a lot of things ring generalship. But the difference is, and maybe you'll be able to receive this, is when Canelo Alvarez fought Erislandy Lara won more rounds. The difference is Canelo Alvarez fought like the champion. If you never watched boxing in your life, and that was the first match you ever seen, and you known boxing to be the sweet science and be a gladiator sport, when you watch Erislandy Lara versus Canelo Cinnamon Alvarez, the Mexican machine gun is what I call him, Canelo looked like the champion, the guy who defined what boxing looks like, the guy who's the champ. My sister isn't a boxing fan. She's watched a couple of matches, but she said, "Who is that guy?" I said, "Well, that's the champ." And he gets 2 rounds in my book for that. Just looking like the champ. But this guy is a master escape artist. So you can't take that away from Canelo, because he's swinging at Erislandy Lara, bludgeoning him, chopping him up. Erislandy Lara clearly won more rounds by 2. And Canelo never broke focus, because he remembered being in there against Floyd, and he wasn't going to let that happen. So that was the case. And that's why I clearly say Erislandy Lara won more rounds. Canelo Alvarez won the fight, because when it's a title fight of that magnitude, I want the guy to wear the belt that looked like the champ. And that's what happened on the Beterbiev versus Bivol fight. Bivol boxed like a champion 3 rounds that he was just masterful. 9 rounds, it was a toss-up. The other rounds he won, they were toss-ups. It was never clear that he would dominate a round. But when Beterbiev won the rounds, it was pretty clear because it was showing all over. And Beterbiev didn't say after the fight, I didn't throw where I could have thrown. He threw every time he could throw. And that's the champ. So the belt should have went to the champion, the guy who defined the word champion. I'm going to take what he got and I'm going to give him what I got. And whatever he brings, it's just not going to be enough. The guy who looked like that was Beterbiev that night, regardless of what you think. That's the facts. That's just what it is.
I agree.
Yeah.
A song comes to my mind. You're never going to survive unless you get a little crazy. So look, when you get in a fight like that, you cannot just box somebody's ears off, because when I get into the ring, I have a ritual that I do. I go and I bow to each judge. It's not always because I'm trying to, well, first of all,
Explain that. That's a valid point.
But I'm also trying to see who the judges are, because when I look at them, I know
what they're looking for.
An older judge,
that
he ain't gonna be satisfied with me hitting and running all night.
He want to see.
Have to mix it up. You know what I'm saying? Like so that's what people don't understand. And it's easier. We know this from Ali and Joe Frazier. It is much easier to come forward than it is to go backwards. And you can, and even these guys, that when you become a high level pro like these guys, I can make you look bad coming forward, even if I'm not winning the fight. And that's what Canelo Alvarez did to Laura, because as you're backing out and you're doing your head like this or whatever, you know, like it looks like you got hit, you know, or it looks like you're running from contact. You know? So at the end of the day, it's the guy who comes forward, punches thrown, punches landed, and then after all that's said and done, is who would you rather have been?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Mike said the same thing. He said he rewatched the fight yesterday and he agreed. He think Bivol did win a few more rounds, but he just there was just this difference in the way you're winning the rounds and how, like, you're stealing rounds. And it's not like Sugar Ray did against Hagler. When Sugar Ray was stealing the rounds against Haglers, he was throwing them hands like, rah, rah, rah. He was sitting down on them flurries. And nobody's been able to throw flurries like that. The closest person, and I'm going to give him his flowers right now, is David Benavidez. He's throwing flurries. He's hitting you. He's not just touching you. I remember Oscar De La Hoya was trying to do it, and I don't know if it was against Vargas. Yeah, it was against Vargas. And so I named a warm-up after him because his flurries are just girly. And I love Oscar De La Hoya as a fighter. But when he did his flurries, he just didn't have it down. And I know because he was the second coming of the Golden Boy, because the first one is Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray, when he threw flurries, you were hit. You know, when Oscar De La Hoya threw him, you was slapped. And there's a difference. But David Benavidez,
he hits you. Yeah.
He hits you.
Those shoulders, man, are super duper loose. And
loose.
That's one thing that I wish that I had as a fighter, because, you know, I came from football. So
you was tight.
Structure is more bulkier. But if I had those loose shoulders like that, man, because I had the conditioning and the output to do it. But yeah, that really matters, man. If you got them lean shoulders like that and you can do that quick twitch like that, David Benavidez really gets that across. Yeah,
and I'm gonna ask you, Otis, because I know the fans here, some of you may not be aware. You're young. Otis was a 2-time world champion and he played football. So what I'm gonna do now, and the first winner of a reality show, boxing show. So Otis is versed in the sport, so he's knowledgeable. But so what I'm gonna do is ask you about the physical training when you play football for the Ravens, like the physical training. Then you started boxing. How did that impact you muscular wise?
Well, I tell people all the time, muscle is 87% water, and I really feel like that's what our guy Floyd ran into, with losing weight, like how we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
When you got to lose, the more muscle you have, the more water you need, and the more oxygen you're going to need in those later rounds and things of that nature. In football, everything is explosive. Boom, 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 boom. 3 seconds, 5 seconds at top, and then you huddle up and you get a rest. In boxing, you need white blood cells. You need to be a marathon runner, but you also need quick twitch with it. So you got to be a wide receiver and a marathon runner all together. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference.
It is. Yeah, that quick twitch. I tell people when I create our programs, one of the things I do is, because you can look a certain way. I remember lifting weights. I was training and I was lifting weights and doing dumbbells. And I said, I'm gonna start doing light weights, but that wasn't doing nothing but compacting it even tighter because I'm lighter. So I'm doing more reps. So that's creating more tightness. And so I was sparring with some of the guys. One of the kids, 6'1", Bernard. If you're watching Bernard, special shouts out to you. Your hands are super fast. And he had really long arms. Remind you of Allen Iverson, but in boxing. And just was, and I was like, you know what? I had gotten bulky. So Otis, I used to walk around with the overalls on with no shirt on. I was so everywhere I went, Cass was like Tyson. Because I was always the skinny kid. So that's why I was always used to fighting and being super quick. And then I said, dang, man, yo, this muscle making me only. Now I'm quick in no matter what size I was with movement. But what I realized is I can't hit them with a combination. So I got to make that move, that peekaboo slip, just slide and dive in and close the gap and hit them with one hard one. Boom. And just. That's not how you want to fight when you got a guy who can pull your eyelashes off with quick punches. That's how quick Bernard was. I took him up north and I told you to a tournament up in Virginia. And that's where I met the kid who showed me the very first time at a tournament, the drop and roll. Where he got up under that dude hook, looked at him, winked, and knocked him out. Boom. And I was like, that's my move from now on. And I put it in our training program. But Bernard introduced me to him. He said, my boy, I want to introduce you to my coach. So he introduced him to me. And I was like, yo, kid, you nice. And he was like, yeah, I was watching you when I was locked up. And he said, I've been watching you. And that's how long Master Boss has been on YouTube, man. Like Cat's been watching us from the beginning. And so when I realized no matter how much weight you are lifting, if you don't understand how to use your body, your mechanics are going to be thrown off, right? And see, you have a different IQ. You have your IQ of physiology, and people, I'm going to explain to you what this guy's real true gift is. Awareness and science. He's like a sensei with the human body, and he understands how to make an adjustment to how things are working or if they're not working. That's one of the reasons he won't lose a fight if he's just not feeling right, because he always understands how to make that adjustment and adapt to the situation. And so that's one of the things that Otis knows more than I've run into anybody. I've sat across the ring in the gym with world champion after world champion after world champion. One or two of them had gold medal Olympic medals as well as world championship titles. And they weren't impressive with their boxing knowledge. I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to tell the truth. And you have that gift that most guys who fight. That's why I like Banks. What's his name? Eugene. What's his name that I was just telling you about today? Banks' dad.
Jonathan. Ebanks.
Yes.
Chris Ebanks.
Yes, Chris Eubanks. I like him a lot. Yeah, because his IQ is just elevated, man. Anybody out there ever box? If you're a boxer, put your name down in the comment box. Let me know where you box at. And I'm gonna ask. I want you to weigh in on lifting weights, because I saw Tank's trainer working with him doing weights, and I know that guy has never really trained a real fighter. Because I'm looking at him put on weight, put these heavy weights on Tank doing, and I'm saying, look, bruh, there was a point in time in my career where I didn't have enough experience. Hold on.
Well, I'll go ahead and speak.
Take over, because I don't know what's going on.
So what he's talking about, what he's talking about is how to put weights into your program without making yourself slow or bulky. And and first of all, I got to give shouts out to John Tandy, up at Lake Arrowhead. He put me and Yusuf Mack and others through training. And what it is everything that you saw from me is the melted down version of myself. I was a 220-pound free safety when I played football. And then, so I didn't need to lift weights. I needed to burn the muscle. And there's a way that you can do that. And a lot of people think that what you do is you starve yourself and you deplete yourself. That's not going to work, because I was only 8% body fat when I was 220.
Yeah, you were shredded.
So I would have killed myself. So what John did was he would have me do insane scientific stuff like take just the weight bar, no weight on it for bench press, and do 1,000. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. 1,000 presses of it, and to the point that it's burning the muscle. It's making the muscle eat itself away.
Yeah.
So then that would make me ridiculously cut up, like how you guys saw or whatever.
Yeah,
but
you were shredded.
I was literally doing Bruce Lee stuff. It was the equivalent to doing like as many as push-ups as Bruce Lee. And then he would take stuff, and he would burn my hamstrings. Like we would do like box hops or like leg ups or whatever.
Yeah.
But I got to stand and sit up like to the point where it would burn all the muscle out of my hamstrings.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I thought he was crazy, because like a week after that, my body would feel like I literally got in a car accident.
Yeah.
Like, because I would be so sore and I would be so tired. And then he would say, all right, now go to sleep. We're going to chill for 2 days, and then we're going to go into boxing training. And I'm like, man, this dude is crazy, man. I believe in it, and it works. Yeah. And I use it on fighters to this day. You burn the muscle, so you're keeping the muscle. You're making that muscle more developed because of the fine tuning that you're doing. You're adding balance to the muscle, because now the little muscles around that muscle are working. And now the nutrition is that you're going to burn that mass off and melt down. So now you're melting like this big mass. It's like you got a rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
You melt that rock and you mold it into what you want.
It's
still the same rock, but now it's more efficient.
You're melting it.
Yeah.
And Mike, I'm gonna get your statement, because Mike is talking about what he used to do as a weight training regimen. But what I'm going to share with you guys is some deep science, and hopefully you'll get something from this. The most important thing with a person is that not their muscles are stronger, but their bones are stronger. The density of your bone, and see, you have a strong density. So if you go into the weight room and once a month you lift, however, whether it's like that or if it's heavy weight, less reps, the only thing that's going to happen is the density of the bones are going to increase. When you hit somebody hard, they're going to feel like you hit them harder than you've hit them before, only because the density of the mass, right? Your bone density increases. It has the muscle. Slap somebody with a muscle and slap somebody with a bone. Which would you rather not get hit with? Would you rather not? Would you rather get slapped with a steak, or would you rather get slapped with a femur? I'd rather get slapped with a steak, because a muscle is just a muscle, right? It amps and it takes on the responsibility of protecting the bone, right? You're not pushing something, you're hitting something. So the reaction of a muscle is the most important thing. But The only thing that we have to think about is the density, and the muscles are going to benefit because when it's more bone marrow, it's more everything that the body needs. So when you're building up the density of the bone, which is what guys should be doing, and you don't need to keep doing that. When you go up in bone density, you don't need to keep lifting every day because the density of the bone ain't gonna just keep going up. You can pick up the axe and hit the tree. You know what I'm saying? You can pick up the med ball and slam it down. It's all about total over body strength now. And now, Mike, I'm gonna check your statement. Let me read what you wrote down here, champ. So you said you used to lift weights. You're 5'11", 170 pounds. Since 6 months, I don't lift weights. Put the time only in boxing. That's right. 4 times a week. And my body is really changed. Yeah, very slim, but still muscles. Yeah, because those muscles don't go away. You know what I'm saying? Like those muscles, I try to get muscles. I try to get the muscles away. And I'm going to bring Otis back in. I tried to get the muscles away. It took 7 years of not lifting weights at all. So, because they were never going anywhere. And until this day, I'm like, yo, I don't touch it. If I touch a weight and move it across the room, like I swell up. Like I've always had, it's crazy. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it is. I'm like, I need to get my body tested. I'm 55 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can't even, if I even do push-ups for like several days and then do it again the next week, like I'll look like I'm doing drugs or something with steroid because my muscles just, so I have to kind of do like weird stuff every once in a while. Like I can't even just start working out or it'll get crazy very quick. And so when I think about you, I want people to understand my body is a quick litmus test. If my body responds a certain way, I get a faster answer than most people in the world. You got a great body too. The thing about it is my body responds so quickly, and I'm like, no, this is what's going to happen to you over the course of time, whether it's injury or it's just they're just going to blow up. Like my shoulders and my arms and back, they just get crazy. And when you're boxing, man, that's never going to work in your favor. They're going to gas out. It's going to suck the oxygen. So being on a regimented weight training program is okay. Weights don't build you. If you want to get better at boxing, you box. If you want to be a bodybuilder, you lift. You stay away from boxing. If you're a bodybuilder, just lift. But there's no room for both of them and acting like you're not going to sacrifice one for the other. Because if you eat candy every day, it's yummy to your tummy, but you're going to have diabetes and no teeth. You get it what I'm saying? So if you lift weights all the time, it's going to pay the dividends. Your endurance is going to go away. You're going to look really good like a movie actor boxer, Michael B. Jordan, but you won't be like a real fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bernard Hopkins and the cats who really, Sugar Ray Robinson, who didn't touch that stuff. So there's a way that you can do it and get the benefits, but it's not your lifestyle. And I don't care who you bring in front of me. Go get any trainer in the world who tells me lifting weights all the time and boxing is a good idea. And I'll chop their asses up on this thing. We'll go to the books. I'll bring out the facts. I'll chew them. Like I see guys do it. You can get away with it. But if you fight a fighter that's really just training boxing, he's putting in 9 more rounds a day in boxing because that's how long he's doing 9 to 12 more rounds of boxing drills and training every day. Every week, that's 82 more rounds, right? Or 72 more rounds a week. Then you're talking about a month. You're talking about nearly 3,000 more freaking rounds. Like it keeps compounding. So you telling me I can do 10,000 more rounds in the ring and not be better than you? Because you got more muscles than me? Like the dude who's boxing more is the dude that's the most dangerous, not the dude who know how to do pullovers. You get what I'm saying? You can't beat me if I don't put in 30 more rounds than you. I don't give a shit who you go get. 30 rounds more? We talking about every week. We talking about the guy who's shadow boxing, getting all the angles, understanding all 5 layers of defense, all phases of boxing. You tell me you at the gym doing bench presses and I'm in there training boxing, you can beat me? You fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That kid's waffling. As Eddie Hearn says, you waffling.
Waffling.
Yo, you must be out of your mind. I can put in 92 more rounds in the gym boxing and you gonna beat me on fight night? You crazy. You squat all you want to. When we in the ring, we boxing. The only thing them squats gonna do for you in the boxing ring is suck your gas. Yeah. So you can do it as you think. I'm gonna do more CrossFit. Okay. If you want to be a professional CrossFitter, then cool. CrossFit Games is in the summer. But when you're talking about boxing,
you cannot do that for a whole camp. Maybe like a week.
Oh, it's people that do it though.
Yeah.
They come in camp out of shape. So talk to me about conditioning. When you're talking about a fighter going into camp needing to lose 35 pounds, which is common as hell, too common to be good. What do you say? Because I know my rule. When you come into camp, you better be on the nutrition plan before. We got pre-nutrition plan.
Yeah.
So when you come into camp, I want it to look like you come and do the fight that week. Because you live boxing.
Yeah.
You live like a fighter. Because it's a short window of time, right, Otis? That you get to get that bag. And it's a lot of money that you can get. A whole lot of money. But what people don't realize is that they don't really understand that it's a short window of time. 10 years ain't long. Talk to these boys about fight weight.
Well, the first thing you want to do is when you're at your fight weight, like for instance, I fought at 175 pounds. I would never allow myself to get like over 190 pounds.
Okay,
never.
Hold on one second. Mike, I'm going to get to your question because Mike wants to know, of course, he wants to know about the strength and stuff like that. So I'll read your question after Otis gives you guys these pearls. Go for it, Oh.
Yeah, like I was saying, I would never allow myself to get over 190 pounds. Definitely, I would try to stay within like 185, 187.
Yeah.
That being because I don't want to add the stress to my body, right? Like Roberto Duran used to do and people like that to cook myself all the way back down just to get through camp or whatever. I'm at war with myself instead of going through camp properly. So I would never report to camp more than, about 10 to 12 pounds over the weight.
Yeah.
That's only water weight at that. I'm still ripped up. It's water weight. My conditioning, I used to always do what they call leave the water boiling. Like I'm never gonna flatline. I would cut down on my stuff so I can give my body a chance to rejuvenate and everything. But I'm never flatline and just be sitting on the couch and eating potato chips and things of that nature because I know that now I got to get that wheel back turning again. So I would always keep the water boiling. I'm not running 5 or 6 miles a day, but I'm running 1.5 or 2 miles a day.
Yeah.
Or jumping rope for 30 minutes or doing something like that. But when I come in to the camp, I'm like you said, I'm already going to have the foundation already laid. I already got my flatland road work already done for like 2 or 3 weeks before I get into camp. So now when I get to coach, he going to be like, all right, you should be already in cardiovascular shape. Now let's go run these stadium stairs. Yeah. Boom. Because now we're trying to get those legs so they don't, that quick twitch and everything is already in the stadium stair. Foot speed, leg speed, duration, punch resistance, all in those legs going up and down that stadium stairs. You know what I'm saying? Then after we tear those legs up for a minute, then we're gonna go back and we're gonna go back to flatland. But now we're gonna run sprints but at a high level, sprint. Then we're gonna add stuff in between it. Like I might run a sprint 50 yards this way, boom. I'm gonna backpedal that 50 yards back, and then he gonna have me jumping up and down, knees to chest, boom, 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 because he's trying to shock the system.
He's trying to shock the system.
How it's gonna feel in the middle of a fight. You know, so those are the things. And then of course the last 2 weeks we're gonna clean up and do boxing work on the mitts and things of that nature.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's simulating feelings, and so that's what I feel like is cool when a coach can simulate when you're training. So if you're simulating the feeling that you're going to feel, then when that feeling comes, you'll have reserves in the body's
No pain.
intuitive nature. The intuition will kick in and say, "Hey, we've been here before." And then the body won't shut down. The body will just go into normal operation and produce oxygen that's needed because he's done the right things. He didn't do oxygen producing exercises that also suck oxygen. And that's where I tell people you got to be careful about towing the line, because you can produce oxygen and that's red blood cells. But muscles suck oxygen. So you got to know that there's a reason why a football play lasts 7 seconds and they huffing and puffing when they go back to the huddle, because
Hey, can
they
I say
don't have.
something?
Yeah.
Check this out. And you see this in the gym all the time. I know you probably don't allow it in your gym.
Yep.
Fighters, when you guys are training and you got headphones on and everything, or you go do your road work and you got headphones on, you are doing yourself a disservice. You're never gonna be in the ring and hear the music. You know what I'm saying? So the music is calming you down. You don't hear your heart beating. You don't hear the stress. You don't hear the shock.
Yeah.
You can't feel the shock because your mind is not
Yeah.
going through it.
Yeah.
Simulate what's gonna happen in a fight.
Yeah.
Run without the headphones, jump rope without the headphones, do your ring work and your shadow boxing without headphones, because ain't nobody gonna be playing Kanye West and Kendrick Lamar the whole fight.
Nope. That's not an option. And so this is the running program. That's great tips, Otis. Simulate what's really going to happen. That's why you see fighters get blazed on Quiz Street, because they are trying to simulate something that they haven't simulated. They haven't been in the ring without music on. They haven't trained really without the sounds of their liver being punched and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So this is for the amateur training. This is the sprint program. It's the science of the run. And then I have the professional, the ones that you use when you're in the top 10. And then there's the title fight when you're defending titles, because we've been in all situations. And every time I learned that there was a different level run and training regimen. And so we got them all. And the one that people can get access to is the running that we have, the science of the run. This is level one. This is super. I mean, you run a lot of the kind of sprints that you need and distance that you need, and put them together in a manner in which you're cycling. And it's crazy. And then you have a cycle routine that you do. It's called British Go. And basically, it turns you into an absolute machine. And that's what guys aren't prepared. They don't understand that a fighter trains in a certain particular way. And there are things that you do that not make you fight in the ring better, but they enhance your skills because they give you more oxygen, quicker twitch. And this is called program mediums. This isn't what makes you box better. This makes your tools better. You get it? So there's a dedicated time to that. And oxygenating the system is a part of that. And knowing how to run, like the kind of when you're hooked up to a machine, like in Rocky 4, and Ivan Drago's hooked up to the machine. We build athletes that way, in a way that if they measure you at the University of Miami and they take your blood, your oxygen levels and your red blood cell counts are going to be up, as if you've been training in the mountains for a year, because I understand science. Every program that I've created has been tested in universities. And that's what I did. I even partnered with people and they took what I did, because I'm actually out here doing it. They just got labs. And I make sure that our science is really here for the thing that I decided that I would get into human biology 4 and anatomy and training the body is for human evolution. See, they see me as a boxing trainer, but that's not what my job here on earth. My job is to create process for human evolution. That's why I'm light years above any of the trainers you're going to meet. And I'm not bragging. I just am. Like if I put my accolades there and what I do and what will be here after I'm gone, there's nobody you can go get. Nobody that you can go get that will have left more behind when it comes down to evolving in human evolution than me, because that's what my job has been. I've known it since I was like 3. You know what I'm saying? Like real.
Thank you for doing that, man.
Yeah.
Because like we said earlier, if there wasn't guys like you that do this stuff would die. You're not gonna see Custom Model come through the door. You're not gonna see Dundee come through the door. You know what I'm saying? No. Like all these guys are.
Yeah. And that's all I want. I want to see. I'm training guys to be the next Customados, Angelo Dundees, Emmanuel Stewart's. That's what we created our top trainer program literally for, not for me to do it. I'm here to create the aircraft. I need the pilots now. You know, I'm just creating the aircraft. So all of the guys who are learning how to be there and operate from those places and positions, I'm helping them with my knowledge. I'm giving it to them. Yeah, that's just a God body thing. It's just a thing that you do. You help the other man get on his feet and step his game up. And so I give him that. And so the tools that they need, I create them. Man, people are wondering, why do you create all that stuff and not just claim it? Because I got other work to do here. I mean, my job is not done, and I can't just wear that hat. If I would, I'd be working corners right now with the top fighters that are in the game, because there's absolutely no way that those guys wouldn't need and want me when I can do what they can do, and more than likely better. So they definitely want me to teach them things, but I'm teaching the coaches that so that they don't have to worry about it. They can just teach the guys, do what they need to do. I've done it at the highest level. And when those guys are right now in a position where they can help those guys win, now we got to show them how to stay there and remain at the top, and then what to do after. That's where I'm at now. So yeah, man, we got some good guys out there doing some coaching though. They coming along, they taking in the programs, they smashing tournaments, they transitioning athletes to the pros. I got a guy, one of our coaches, he got to do a pay-per-view fight so fast after I told him it was within a 2-year period of time. And then when he signed up with us, that he was in a pay-per-view fight. Austin Trout and those guys went over there and partnered with them and you know, kind of supported them. But he was so excited. He left the mouthpiece at the gym but that's how I said, if you follow me, I'm going to take you places faster than you can blink. And he got there, and was he quite ready? No, but he better than everybody else because he's groomed, and you're going to make mistakes. He's groomed. He has a system in his. He knew how to get a guy through a 12-round grueling fight. Like, that's not easy your first time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's that. You get to go into the bag and get a guy through a 12-round fight and win a decision in a pay-per-view event with legends watching you, bruh. You can't fake that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot fake. You got to have grooming to do that, because he would have, if he was deep enough in quicksand to forget his mouthpiece, you know, he would have forgot how to train after the 6th round. He wouldn't know what to do. But it's the systems, man. We done put them systems, man. So these guys out here who don't know what they're doing or don't really have a real circle, you know, that's what you do. You know, there are these 4 pillars that you got to make sure you got. Number 1, you got to understand the system of boxing. So you got to have the proper program to develop the fighter and not try to figure it out on your own. Number 2, you got to have a clear understanding of how to do this thing and promote it, how to really bring awareness and fans and people who have interest, sponsorships. And when you got sponsorships and you got people who are saying, I want to endorse you, you got shoe and sneaker deals, opportunities, watch deals, band deals. Companies are looking for you. If you don't know how to do that, it's because you don't understand promoting and marketing yourself and your athletes. So you got to do that now, because, you know, that's where the fighters are going. And if you don't think fighters want that, you're crazy. Fighters want to be known. Fighters want to be seen. Fighters want to bring smoke to somebody with an arena filled with people, not with two people in the stands. You want to sell 10,000 tickets minimal, and you got to understand that that comes with it. And then you just have to make sure that you understand how to be that presence out there and duplicate yourself and bring more people in. And this is a process that trainers don't know. 90% of the guys that I talk to, I'm being generous because it's really 100%. None of them don't know none of this stuff. They just know how to train fighters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't know how to do this stuff. This is a whole different kind of part of the business. And when you look at guys like Joseph Parker and Dubois, and those guys are in a situation tonight, like he's like, okay, I'm fighting another guy, but this guy is probably going to be easier because he's less, fluent. And when we talk about this fight, the bottom line is they're all being victimized by what they don't know. So they'll just take whatever, and this is no knock on Eddie Hearn. Whatever Eddie Hearn throw at them, they'll take it because they don't understand how to negotiate. Negotiations are tough. Yeah. They make you say and do things that you really don't want to say out loud. And they'll make you show a side of yourself that you really want to keep stuffed in. And we call them ninjas. It's that other thing and that's inside of you that you have to start saying, I got to start being that guy. Or you got somebody you got to represent somebody. Somebody got to represent you that has that. And I tell people, they see me as this dark-skinned black guy, right? But my alter ego is a fat, white, bald man in a suit with glasses on, Harley can see. I might always have a little white notepad on my side because I'm taking. See, that's my alter ego. You see me in places that you just don't see the other trainers. You see me in circles of people. Yesterday, we were at an event with a prince. You get what I'm saying? The circles that we are in and things that we're doing, guys don't have access to, and they don't understand how to talk if they did, right? Period, point blank. And I'm not saying that as a humble brag, even though I have to thank myself because I know the cats I grew up with, they wouldn't fucking do that. But I will because I know it's for a bigger cause. I shake hands with people you would never meet. You get it? I'm in circles where I'm going to get the eye because I'm the only one with pigments. You get it? So, but you got to do that. I have to be that guy. I have to step into those circles. I have to do that for the game because the people in our sport aren't used to doing that. But I have to show people like Eddie Hearn, you're not going to pimp my fighters because you think we don't know that game you playing. That's my circle too. And that is going to be why the game is going to go much further because people who are doing things like what I'm doing, making sure you sit down with people that might have dashikis on their head and they don't think you know business, but I know business. And they will be really, truly outlandishly taken back when I start popping off, when we talking about the X's and O's and line items of a show and understanding what the fighters truly owed when we break them down to his brand character. You know what I'm saying? His true brand identity and what he brings. And we start talking that politics, as Flavor Flav would say, the politics. Don't get it twisted, man. So I need everybody out there who's watching to play a role because that's what we're doing. We're not just out here trying to get you to buy a program from us. I don't give a shit about that. It's about play your role and understand, learn from what we're talking about so that when you have the opportunity to sit down, you'll have heard what you need to say and what you don't need to let happen when you're sitting down at those negotiating tables. Otis, these boys don't know what they're talking about. And these trainers, they just want to ride. I don't just want to ride. That's why I stopped training people physically and started focusing solely on getting them into an empire, period. So as we crack it back down, let's take it back to the fight that was, unless you had to co-sign on something or
Oh,
you
no,
were.
no, no. I'm ready to talk boxing. Let's do it.
Yeah, because when we go back to the fight, Schofield, like we said yesterday, that was the breaking news. And Schofield literally threw a few shenanigans up.
Yeah.
First and foremost, he said that Shakur had literally stole his identity, his passbook. That was, we found out that to be flagrant. The second thing was he was poisoned. And third thing, that he'd been tainted with some form of poison liquid by a massage therapist that had been sent by Shakur Stevenson. Once again, shenanigans. So when we roll this tape back in a year and we look at where this guy's gone, will this have stained his career when we talk about Schofield?
I hope it doesn't. I'm a really big supporter of Schofield. I've been watching him come up the ranks.
Yeah.
He's my friend on all social media. His father is a great guy that I really think of as like a mentor in the Christian community. So you know, people, like we said, they do weird things on death's doorstep.
Yeah.
And the thing is that sometimes we don't really know how powerful we are, because I gave him a good chance to beat Shakur. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of the way that he's built, his physical attributes, his durability, and everything, and his power. He would definitely had a chance to beat him. But it's a shame. I don't really, I can't really speak on what exactly happened, because only they know the truth and everything. But the thing that you just said that is the only thing that matters really is, will he get another chance? And with the way that the stars are aligning in the world of boxing, with the Sheik bringing all these promoters together to make this one big round table and everything, there's going to be levels in boxing, and that might be a stain on his name, where he might get blackballed or whatever, like my man that walked out of the ring a couple years ago. I think it's the kid out of Florida. Yeah, the heavyweight that was going to fight the African kid out of Florida when he jumped out of the ring. I think it was Carpenter or something like that.
I think
he tried to get fights after that, and it's like, like, man, you're done. Like you gotta understand how much money, like, so he had $1 million on the table. So if you got $1 million on the table, how much you think the promoter got on the table? You know what I'm saying? You playing with this man's money.
They don't get it.
He make a phone call and it's over with.
Otis, I'm gonna let you hear Shakur say this, because I know you didn't hear. Hold on.
Yeah. Like I'm.
Yeah. What did you make about him not showing up to the press conference?
I'm actually scared. Like, I'm actually scared that they not gonna show up to the fight, and I'm gonna go put in all of this.
Still?
Yes, all of this work that I'm putting in right now. I just feel like they looking for an excuse. Like, they looking for a way out. Like,
why? Why you running from $1 million?
I mean, I can't.
He did the picture. I'm making my first $1 million. Why he running from that?
But why would you go make up a lie and say that I sent somebody to steal your passport?
Oh, hold on.
Yes.
I thought he said just a random person did it.
Nah, he said
you sent somebody to steal the page. Come on, bro.
To take it, he said basically somebody broke into his house and they ripped the page out of his pass. I swear, I'm not making this up. So
Man,
I'm gonna let. Hold up. That ain't all, man. That ain't all. That ain't all. I just wanted you to get a taste of that, and then I'm gonna play a little bit more. But I had to let you hear because I don't think you.
So what transpired after that? Because I didn't know that Floyd.
Okay, so here we go.
You said no.
Yeah.
So what transpired after that?
Because I didn't know that Floyd Schofield was in hospital, and I didn't know Floyd Schofield had accused everyone of poisoning him. And you know, then you see these photos of him like laying in the hospital like gonzo, you know, like. So what do you expect? He's going to be all right to fight? I mean, the whole thing is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. You know, I don't even know the guy, but all I've seen is accusations. I mean, this guy never turned up to the press conference in London because he said that something like Shakur Stevenson broke into his apartment and ripped out his signature page on his passport. I mean, with all due respect, it's a bit of a strange one. So I don't know these people.
Man, you know what was one thing about the athletes nowadays, man, is I don't know if it's in the food supply or what, but like mental health is a really serious situation nowadays, you know, and like talking about because you know I was hey and Floyd Pops, I was fighting him. We talking on the phone. I'm like, no, they wouldn't do that. But as you pointed out, one thing, all right, two things, five things. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You know,
and counting.
So, yeah.
But I want you to hear exactly how this ended with the conversation with Shakur and Ward, because Ward was like, really? I just listen to, and thank you guys for taking the time and be patient and listening. But I thought I'd bring this to you guys so you can see it and, you know, weigh in yourself and let me know what you guys think. Because for me, I know when cats are pushing the envelope, meaning leaning the truth to a lie or adding a little to it. This ain't that. In my estimations, you let me know what you think. Listen to the rest.
It got me worried because it's like, are you going to show up on Tassardi or are you going to say somebody stole your passport or you going to make up some type of excuse to why you're not coming to the fight? But I mean, people telling me he's still out here talking, so hopefully he show up.
I got to do better research because I ain't know that I didn't know he accused you of sending somebody to it.
Yes.
Dang.
Yeah, he said it was me. I sent somebody to do it. I don't even know where he's at. I have no clue, right? I can't tell you right now where he's at.
Why would you do that though?
I don't know.
And they ain't catch him?
I have no clue.
Do you know, like in the past, where it's multiple pages though? So if somebody rip a page out, it's other pages you can stamp to get
I
into.
want to say it's they said it was the signature page.
Oh, for his signature?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Switch gears for a second.
He making that up? You think he making that? I mean, come on, man. Like,
I can't say, man. Only him and God know. You know what I'm saying? Only him and God know.
I mean, did it look like Shakur?
There was a point on the reality show that I was on where me and another contestant got in an argument, and that contestant got so scared that he walked away from $1 million opportunity. There is nothing, as we talked about earlier. I don't worked in prisons. I don't been around the most rowdiest people in the world. There is nothing that another man can do that will scare me out of making my money. And the other thing is, and I really hope that a lot of you fighters are listening to this. I came up with that slogan earlier. I got an O, but I ain't afraid to let it put it on the flow. You got to put your O on the flow if you want to make some more money. That is, you know, you can't just be walking around going, "Oh, I got an O," but it's about against 20 guys that I fought in Mexico or that I fought in some weak commission or whatever. Because what you gonna do? You gonna go to the grave with your O? Like, so what? You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you're good at marketing like Ryan Garcia and really just if people love you, they don't care about you losing. People love Pacquiao. They ain't care he got knocked out cold by Marquez, my boy Marquez. They ain't care he got knocked out unconscious for a count of 10,000. They just said, yo, we got you. And that's what it is. And guys, they don't want to, they don't understand how to do it, because everybody want to be loved. Nobody on planet Earth don't want to be loved by their fans. Who's that guy? You don't go signing autographs and hugging people and taking pictures and all of that stuff because you don't want love. Everybody wants love. The heart is shaped like that because it pumps, because it needs to be fed love. That's why mommy hugs you. That's why mom kiss you. That's why dad pay you money. That's why your brothers kick your butt. That's why your relatives call you stink. That's why everybody that's a part of your circle, whether they hating or they loving, physically caring, they are showing you a form of love. Some of it is tough love, like people who are out here on the creator and influential status. We get judged all the time, all day, every day. We also get accolades. So you got to take the good with the bad, but it's all love. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we have to see it. That's how we have to operate. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm going to let you hear the last 20 seconds of what Eddie Hearn was saying.
What I do know is they checked themselves in the hospital, said they'd been poisoned, and were sprawled out on a hospital bed. They had every check known to man, but nothing really came back. And now what, they're all of a sudden, they're all right now, they're on weight. Oh, I can't believe we've been pulled out of the fight. It don't make sense at all. So
now as a promoter, I can't let you fight because now I'm liable.
It wasn't a promoter, it was the commission.
Yeah,
they are not gonna have that on.
They can't let you fight now. All of them can't let you fight because if something happened to you, now they all gonna go to jail and lose their jobs and get sued. You're
in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
What do you think? This ain't Jersey. They don't know the people. I mean, they're like, Shakur Stevens is a gorilla skill wise. You're not going in there sick, bruh. Like, you already got your hands full. To go in there and then have a weigh-in 2 days later that you may not even be making, because I know that had a lot to do with some dehydration, but you blaming other things and it ended up backfiring. And this is an example of what happens when guys don't have proper management. And we talk about management. That's why you went and got involved with the management company that literally, tell us the story about your management company. Give us 3-minute round. Tell us the backstory of
MG Ring Productions. Been around since 1989.
Say it again. Say it again.
MG Ring Productions. Been around since 1989. Started with guys like Oliver McCall, Danny Williams, one of the first guys to beat Mike Tyson, all the way down to myself. Got me my deal with Fox TV and things of that nature, and Golden Boy. We still out here doing it, and now I'm ahead of the boxing ring. So, in a simple thing, if you don't know nothing else about us, just know this: we everywhere, and you ain't never there. So you need to get with us.
So this is where I'm going to pitch. So what happens is a lot of the promoters, the people in the management world, they aren't from boxing. But regardless if you love him or hate him, Floyd is from boxing, and he's done a tremendous job with getting the fighters big. J. Leon Love, of course, Javante. He, just by name association alone, Broner benefited. When you're dealing with people who actually know the game, who've been in the game, who've been groomed by the game, and had the wherewithal to partner with the game, like Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, people who've done the game and got into the game and helped the game. When you look at Andre Ward, who's on that show, giving fighters a voice, the opportunity to have conversations. See, that's what you got to think about. And with Otis, you're looking at an individual that has never been in the game for himself. He wanted to accomplish his goal, and he wanted to give back to the sport. And he learned. Hold on. What's wrong with this thing?
Lights went out over there. But what he's saying is that, you know, I'm in the sport of management. I'm a boxer, a former fighter, and I'm in it for the fighter. So when you come to MG Ring with us, you have a multitude of things. You have like a whole company behind you. You know, you don't just have one manager that's taking 33 and a third of your money. You have a whole group of like over 20 matchmakers that we all sit down and if you don't have an 80% chance to win that fight, we don't put you in that fight. We move you accordingly to where you're at in your career, the segment that you're at in your career, and then we get you to the top. We have a success record that is, you know, uncanny. You know, we've been around since 1989. We've had several fighters. Right now, we got fighters that are getting ready to sign with this multi-conglomerate of people over in Saudi to get all these big fights. So come to MG Ring and that's what we do for you. You know, otherwise, you know, you're gonna be out here. Boxing is a tough sport that you know, it can eat you up and chew you out. You know, and before long, what happens is guys that have a lot of talent and everything, they get so many doors closed in their face that they just give up on the sport and go be an Uber driver or something. And when they could have been, you know, they could have been an Andre Ward, they could have been Otis Griffin or a Shakur Stevenson or somebody like that. Your volume is off. I think what else he's talking about is
I hit it. No, that's all right. I accidentally hit it with my chin. No, I was saying you were being extra humble, and for those of you who can hear him, obviously you can tell he's a humble person by nature. You can tell by the frequency and vibration. The thing about it is, you can't just have a two-time world champion. You just don't become that if you ain't got something special. And so he does. So if you are on the journey, you guys are on the journey, and you know you don't have a North Star, a navigation tool. That's what they are for you, a navigation tool. And a navigation tool will point you in directions and get you to the direction because they are your North Star. And when you have a North Star, you have an actual map to get to where you're going, because the sport of boxing, you'll be in it 20 years before you even realize it, and you would have gotten nowhere. And if you have something unique and you're special, or you know a person that's really, really good at what they do, but they just don't have the right guidance, that's what they do. And we are the people that'll make you say to yourself, you have to think about how you're going to introduce yourself to the world. Because if you are a star, you have to practice on what a star actually has to go through. So that's what you do when you're talking about learning who you will be. Will you look like Canelo? Will you look like Floyd? Will you look like guys who are less vocal like Pacquiao? But you have to understand what you'll be identity-wise out there. Are you going to be like these guys who are like Bud Crawford, silent killers, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, have to get 50 fights before he gets a title shot? You have to understand what lane you're going to go down. And these are the guys who can help you with that. So if that's your situation, I think it would behoove you to make sure you directly connect with Otis Griffin or touch base with us, and we can direct you. And with that being said, what's the website, Otis?
The website is mgringproduction.com. That's Mary George Productions with an S.com. And then if you don't get us on that, you can find me on IG as next_GRA, next great, and Otis Griffin on Facebook, or next great on everything else like TikTok, things of that nature. Or just look up Otis Griffin on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel there.
No, don't take them. Give them One, we got to work on your marketing. Give them one thing to go get and make sure that that thing is ready for people. That's all you do. Give them one that people are not thinking about doing that. They didn't get up here to figure that out. So we got one thing,
Come to me.
This is what you do. This is what you do because
break.
that's all over the place. Come right here and we'll create the connection. First, we'll find out your situation because we ain't gonna waste no time either. You go right there, you go to Master Box and you ask us or you DM us, and then if you qualify, pass the test, you really the real deal, you really on your journey, you're really going to get there, then we'll make sure you get connected directly and do the thing the right way. But if you're in boxing, you don't want to be one of these guys that's like Schofield right now, because now he needs damage control.
Yeah. And then also, I wanted to talk about this too, because we talked about it on the phone. People, there are different segments of careers. You got the prelim fighters, the people that have under.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Mike wanted to say thank you. This was a really nice stream. He'll see you the guys the next time. Thank you. He appreciate it. Appreciate you, Mike. Special shouts out to the chat tonight. The chat is on fire. Everybody, we appreciate your dedicating the time and interaction. So go ahead, Otis.
I was gonna say you might be a prospect in the prelim version of your segment of your career. You might have under 5 fights, but you might be undefeated. You may be a guy that is a 500 fighter that's in the middle of your career, and you need us to change things for you to get you back on to save your career and get you right back on the right track. We do that also. You might be a veteran that has went up, gotten regional titles, and got an eliminator bout or something, and came back down. We got formulas for that. You might be a champion that doesn't have a promotion company, or somebody like Floyd Schofield that doesn't have a promotion company or anything, and we can help you with that also.
Okay, so let's do this too. So I get to help you right here live. So what is the one characteristic that you're looking for? Because if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So what is the characteristics that's going to cut 90% of these people who are watching out? What do they have to have? Because you can't save everybody. You got to, the person that you want is the person that you're happy to get. You don't want headaches. So what is that characteristic? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for
all of that stuff. All of those things that you name are ancillary.
Yeah.
We want to, this person must have.
If you have more will than skill, then I have the vehicle to get you to where you want to go.
All right. That's what it is. You got to have that grit. You got to have determination. You got to be locked in. You got to know what you want. This is what they're looking for. They're looking for people who know that they are fighters and all they need is a chance. And whether you are at the end, in the middle, or at the early stages, and you know you don't have that wheel on your tricycle, that's the wheel you're looking for. All right. The person who has that real marvelous Marvin Hagler thing, that thing that all you need is that third wheel. That's who they are. You get it? That's marketing. Boom. It simplifies it. It stops talking to everybody. And a person that really has that smoke, they know that this is for them because they got the grit, they got the wherewithal, they have the courage, they want to have it. They just don't have all of the ingredients. You're not looking for a handicapped Harry. You're looking for a person that has the tools, that has the wherewithal, the grit, determination to finish the process that they're going to start for you. Because boxing is going to take it. And like I said, if you don't have the right team, it'll take you 20 years to get where you want to. And we know what that means. You won't really ever get there, especially in this age now where they want people who are vested with a team that's competent and they have a following. That's who people want now. That's how you get on those cards. So that was good, Otis. Like I said, these things that popped in front of us today, a lot of those things have happened in the past 24 hours. We gave you breaking news. We gave you behind the scenes, the understanding and the science of how to run and train and condition your body. There's not a lot of shows that you're going to get all of that smoke. But welcome to the fight show. That's all we got for right now. Otis, do you want to give a prediction?
Man, there's so many fights. So first of all, Parker has to really get on his horse and be mobile, because if Martin catches him with those big George Foreman shots, then he's gonna get sunk just like Anderson did.
Yes.
And Adama, what is it? Adama, the Dominican that is gonna fight against Hansa. Hansa is a 6'3" middleweight that has no wasted motion. He's a better Fendora,
Yes.
So that's
Fendora. Yeah.
Because Adama is a body snatcher, but he's 5'11". He's gonna have to close the distance, so that's gonna be a pick'em fight, 50-50. And then
Callum Smith.
Who'd you say?
Callum Smith.
Oh, the Callum Smith fight. I think he'll pull that off. And then the other fight, Ortiz.
Hadley. Who?
Yeah. Oh, you talking about Padley with Shakur Stevenson?
Yeah.
This is gonna be a very rough fight. Like, people think that, like how you said, like, if you're somebody that's in Shakur's position, you probably should just walk away from the fight, given all the stuff that has happened this week, and then come back on another day, let them fill in somebody. It almost seems like it's a script written for Padley, because he's a rough and tough English fighter that nobody knows about. But one thing that you have to understand is, in order to make it out of Great Britain, you got to beat so many people that, of course, you're going to be one of the top of the world. He's going to really shock some people, and he may even shock Shakur Stevenson. I think Shakur wins, but it's not going to be a flawless victory like people think.
Yeah, I think Shakur is going to shut him out. I think Shakur has gone through a lot. I think Shakur has a lot to prove to himself. I think he has some stuff that I think his levels in him that he ain't shown. I don't think he's going to be the best boxer ever. I mean, I think he'll end up landing somewhere not below Zab, but slightly a hair above Zab when it's all said and done. Because I do think when you get to 147 and you really don't know how to get guys out of there, that is too difficult. Because you think about him fighting Terrence Crawford, or if you even think about him fighting Errol Spence, which I don't know. Like, if Errol Spence hadn't gotten demolished, I would think that would be a real pick'em kind of fight. But I just think that you gotta have the ability to be mean when it counts. And I just don't think that he has enough mean in his fight game. I think he's highly skilled. You can be too skilled for pros. You can be too skilled and not enough action. And I think that's what his style is missing. Because sometimes you got to just let your hands go. And if you ain't got that kind of dog in you, it's not there. When everything has to be so calculated, it's not there. Even Floyd went after those boys when he was young, and his hands won't frail. You got to be a killer, man. You got to be a killer. So thanks, guys. That's all we got. We're going to catch you guys over the weekend. Hopefully you guys take the time to tune in to the fight. If you do, drop it down in the comment boxes what you guys think will happen on that fight night. Until then, continue to follow us and check us out on social media at Master Boxing across the board. And my man, the next NX_T great GR number 8 champion. Otis, my man Griffin. Be blessed, guys. Coach Bradley out. Peace.